66 million years ago, an asteroid slammed into Earth and wiped out the dinosaurs, but it also created a legacy that continues to this day, setting the stage for mammals like ourselves to become the rulers of the planet. But how exactly did this happen? What advantage did mammals have over their contemporaries? And why is the asteroid still being blamed for everything that happened afterwards? Well, join us as we answer these questions and more in today's episode. When we think of the dinosaurs, we tend to picture gigantic creatures roaming across the land, occasionally getting eaten by even bigger creatures. But despite their fearsome reputation, the dinosaurs went extinct around 66 million years ago, making way for mammals to take over. This event is commonly referred to as the Cretaceous-Paleogene Extinction Event, or the KPG event for short. However, the cause of this event has been known since 1980 when a huge crater was found off the coast of Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula. It was named the Chicxulub crater, and it's widely accepted today that the impact of an asteroid or comet with this crater caused the extinction. But it wasn't just dinosaurs that were affected. Around 75% of all species were lost during this time, including many other reptiles, birds, plankton, and marine creatures. Yet it seems that mammals were relatively unscathed. In fact, they took full advantage of the extinction and flourished afterward. So how did they escape extinction and go on to dominate the Earth? To understand how mammals took over the Earth after the extinction, we first need to know a little bit about them in the period before the extinction. At the end of the Cretaceous period, which marked the last time that dinosaurs lived on Earth, there were many different kinds of mammals. They ranged in size from tiny shrew-like creatures to larger animals similar to bears and deer. However, despite this diversity, they were generally small proto-wombats, if you will. But it's important to note that they had one major advantage. Since mammals give birth to live young and produce milk for their offspring, this gave them a significant advantage in terms of reproductive success. However, at the end of the Cretaceous, there were already signs that mammals weren't doing so well. This was because the Cretaceous-Paleogene extinction event didn't just happen overnight. It actually started around 300,000 years before the asteroid impact with a massive volcanic eruption in what is now the Deccan Traps region in India. These eruptions released huge amounts of lava and gases into the atmosphere, blocking the sun and causing rapid climate change. But while these eruptions may have weakened some mammal populations, overall, the asteroid impact was the most catastrophic event of that period, and mammals would have faced intense competition for resources in the aftermath. So it's a good thing that they were already on the right track. You see, right before the asteroid hit, there was a mass extinction due to the volcanism going on in India. This meant that there was less competition for resources, allowing mammals to thrive. Also, the ecosystem that existed prior to the impact had mostly consisted of plants and animals adapted to warm tropical climates. However, the asteroid impact led to a cooling of the Earth's average temperature. And since most mammals are better suited to cooler temperatures than their contemporaries, this gave mammals yet another advantage. Another reason for the success of mammals was their ability to adapt to various environments. While dinosaurs preferred warmer climates, mammals were already starting to spread out over the globe. Thanks to their small size and ability to live in a wide range of habitats. For example, fossil evidence suggests that mammals were already present in North and South America, Europe, Asia, and Africa, but their widespread presence meant that they were able to avoid being wiped out entirely by the extinction event. Finally, the mammalian advantage could simply be that they were small proto-wombats. As mentioned earlier, the mammals at the end of the Cretaceous came in all shapes and sizes. But since the largest group of mammals were small proto-wombats, this would suggest that this size offered benefits that helped them survive the ecological chaos that followed the asteroid impact. The small size may have allowed mammals to go longer without food and to hide more easily from predators. On top of that, small-bodied animals tend to have faster generation times, meaning that they can reproduce quicker than larger animals. This would have given them a head start in terms of adapting to the New World Order. But unfortunately for mammals, they weren't the only ones who benefited from their small size. Shortly after the asteroid impact, a new group of reptiles called birds began to fill the niche left by the dinosaurs, and they were also small. See, birds evolved from theropod dinosaurs, the same group that includes Velociraptor and Tyrannosaurus rex. And just like mammals, they diversified rapidly after the extinction event, filling various ecological niches. This resulted in a world where birds and mammals dominated instead of dinosaurs. But while it might seem like mammals took over after the extinction event, recent studies suggest that birds were the dominant class of vertebrates for almost 20 million years afterward. But don't worry, mammals eventually reclaimed their title, and today they are represented in a wider variety of habitats and have greater species diversity than any other group of vertebrates. But regardless, let's take a moment to appreciate how incredible birds are. If you thought woolly mammoths were cool, just wait until you hear about penguins. See, unlike their distant relatives, the dinosaurs, birds are still with us today, and they can be found all over our planet, from the frigid south to the tropical north. They come in all shapes and sizes, from the enormous ostrich to the tiny bee hummingbird, and they possess a wide array of adaptations, that allow them to exploit many different food sources. And speaking of ostriches, did you know that they can outrun almost any land predator? Their long legs allow them to reach speeds of up to 43 miles per hour, and their powerful kicks can deliver a fatal blow to any creature foolish enough to try and eat them. But not all birds are built for speed. Some, like the Andean condor, are built for soaring through the skies for hours on end. With a wingspan of up to 10 feet, they can ride air currents effortlessly, searching for carrion from great heights. And then there are birds like the great blue heron, which prefer to hunt for their prey. With sharp beaks and excellent eyesight, herons can spot fish and frogs from great distances and strike with lightning-fast precision. Regardless of their size or hunting style, all birds share one thing in common: feathers. Feathers not only help birds fly, but also provide insulation and display vibrant colors during courtship rituals. No other animal on Earth has anything quite like them, but despite their success, birds are still threatened by humans. Habitat destruction, climate change, and hunting have caused some species to decline in numbers, but conservation efforts are underway to protect these magnificent creatures for generations to come. So next time you see a bird, take a moment to appreciate its beauty and the incredible adaptations that have allowed it to thrive. So, as you can see, life always fights its way to survive, and when danger appears, and mass extinction shows its claws, there are always new opportunities for other species to take over and claim their new spot in the nature. The animal kingdom is incredible and has so much to offer us in knowledge, lessons, and beauty. If you like to learn and explore more about what the wildlife has to teach us, please subscribe for more, as we love to learn too. And every time we dive into nature's secrets, we get surprised by what it has to offer to us.